Hi, I'm John Mayfield, the real estate tech guy with another Global Real Estate School podcast. Welcome to the podcast. I'm John Mayfield, the real estate tech guy, and this is episode 030. Well, today I want to talk about some test-taking tips. That's right. You know, taking your real estate exam and passing your real estate exam is, to me, really all about two things. Number one, you've got to study hard. You've got to put the time in. And number two, you've got to have some strategies. Now, I was researching on the internet, and there's a website called testtakingtips.com. They have some tips for multiple choice test-taking examinations. They're nothing new. A lot of things many of us have been talking about for a long time. But I thought on today's podcast I would go over some test-taking tips and really how you can create a strategy for passing the real estate exam. So let's go through some of their tips and I'll give you some of my suggestions. And together we will help you pass the real estate exam on the very first attempt. So number one, read the question before you look at the answers. I think that's a very, very good suggestion from the website. You really have to read the question. And in fact, I like for my students to read the question a minimum of 2 times, but preferably 3 times. Recently, I was going over some new test questions with a student, and I missed 2 or 3 questions because I did not read the question carefully. So you need to read the question before you look at any answers and incorporate my suggestion. Read it a couple of 3 times just to make sure you understand exactly what they want you to answer. Number 2, eliminate answers you know are not correct. In most real estate exam questions, they will give you 2 questions that appear to be almost identical, or 2 questions that could be right, and 2 questions that definitely you could throw out. So you need to eliminate those 2 incorrect questions right off the bat, and then narrow your choice down to those 2 specific answers that they have given you. Or my suggestion that I encourage you to do, once you've narrowed it down to 2 specific possible answers, read the question again very slowly, and then read those 2 choices you've narrowed it down to. 9 times out of 10, the correct answer will pop out at you, and that's the choice you need to take. Now, here's the next suggestion. Don't keep changing your answer. Usually your first choice is the right one. So unless you've misread the question, don't keep changing your answer. Normally your first choice is the best choice. And finally, I will just say this. One of the suggestions they have in their information is usually the correct answer is the choice with the most information. And I think that could be true. So, read those questions 2 or 3 times. Read the question prior to reading any answers. Make sure you know what they want you to answer. And then get rid of those 2 choices that you know they're not correct. Narrow it down to the 2 choices you have left. Go back, reread the question another time, then read those chances and go with your gut feeling, the one you feel is the correct answer. And then 9 times out of 10, I think usually the correct answer or the correct choice will have more information. Not always, but sometimes. Thank you for listening to the podcast for Global Real Estate School. I'm John Mayfield, the real estate tech guy. Go out and make it a great day.